in Thailand. For the situation in Thailand, I would prefer to wait until we have definitely enough supply of the vaccine. And I do not want us to follow the pattern that some experts start to promote, that you may be vaccinated only once, that be enough. I don't believe that true. And I don't believe that we have to use different kind of vaccine for the first dose and second dose. That's also not being certified by scientific test. So I would prefer to stick on the previous protocol, that no matter what vaccine you are going to receive, please understand what would be the nature of vaccine and how many doses that you have to receive, and what would be the duration between first and second dose. Try to follow that protocol first, okay? So since I told you that I also would like to start with messenger RNA vaccine myself, so therefore right now I prefer to learn more about what's happening about the side effects of all kinds of vaccine. And during this time, please try to remain to be health conscious. You know, you have to respect social distancing, wearing masks, washing hands, and blah, blah, blah. And also, please take care of your good health. Research have been shown that vitamin D, vitamin C, and many good products can help to protect us against COVID-19 viruses. Okay, so I would like to start by my opening statement, and please ask more questions to make me give more information or clarify on any matters. Please start.
Okay, I have a question, because people promoted, what's it, ivermectin and hydrochloroquine and what, vitamin D, all of those as useful to prevent people from getting COVID or lessening symptoms if they actually do get it. What's your comments, opinions on that?
Okay, that's a good question, because most of the products that you mentioned, they have been some of the medications that have been used for treatment of parasitic infection, fungus infection, and also HIV viruses. Now, I would like us to learn more about the nature of virus infection. Before the virus can get into the body, it usually be contaminated through inhalation or respiratory tract. Okay, so therefore, one of the obvious things that we can do is to protect our lung. At present, there have been many good products making from herbal formulation that you can inhale and protect us against COVID virus infection. Now, because COVID virus contain capsid protein, spike protein, and also RNA as an infective materials, we have to start to learn how we can do what we call target drug therapy to get rid of viruses without harming humans. So one of the things that we learned, that the virus, when they get into the body, we can be protected by a natural substance called interferon. So please remember this word, interferon is something that can protect ourselves not to be infected by viruses. And when the virus gets into the body, it will start to make more copies of itself. We call viral replication. So any product that we would like to use, it must be proved that it can inhibit viral replication. And the other thing because of spike protein is responsible for penetrating in human cell. So if we can destroy the spike protein effect, it can also get rid of COVID viruses. Now, I would like to bring you some more attention to the herbal substance that we have developed for the past 20 years. One of the natural substance that the scientists are working on is called quercetin, Quercetin. Quercetin are available in one of the plants that Thailand consume in the northern part of Thailand. We call plu khao. The scientific name is called Uttania cordata. Uttania cordata contain the red pigment under the leaves. Okay, and this quercetin, once it's going to get absorbed in the body, it can work by prevent virus to replicate, as well as destroy the capsid protein that covering it. So therefore, this is very safe and good products to be considered in the near future. You may have heard about the research from Mahidol University on the product called Kachai Khao, or finger root in English. Kachai Khao are common herbs that I have been using in cooking for many years. And with the active ingredients called Panduratin A, is able to work by suppress viral replication as good as hydroxychloroquine that you have mentioned earlier. However, hydroxychloroquine still have the safety issue because at the high dose, it can cause severe side effects. Panduratin A, which derived from Kachai Khao, can have equal effectiveness with hydroxychloroquine, but it has been proved to be very safe, even though you consume in high doses. So therefore, those are things that we will start to share with you the information for next Zoom meeting. Now, vitamin D has been proved that it can prevent COVID infected patient not to be seriously ill. So therefore, we start to recommend vitamin D of 4,000 international units daily for those who would like to prevent or treat COVID virus infection. Vitamin C also can help to get rid of COVID-19 viruses. One of the reasons that we have started to learn more that when COVID-19 start to infect the human body, the incubation period will last for about 5 days. That means that on the first day that you contact with the virus, you will not have symptoms until the 5th day. And on the 7 days, normally it starts to have some symptoms like flu-like symptom or respiratory tract problem and so on. So new research has found that by using what we call hyperthermia, in order to create the heat in our body during the incubation period of viruses, it can promote NK cell activity and also to promote interferon release to protect the COVID viruses. So therefore, there have been many kind of measures that can be used. Now, one of the medication that we have discussed previously is called favipiravir. Favipiravir is a medication that the Japanese researcher developed for treating influenza virus starting from the year 2015. And they found out that favipiravir at the appropriate dose can help to treat COVID virus infection. The standard dose that they usually give will be around 5 days by giving about 50 tablets per course of treatment. So therefore, what we are developing is something equivalent to favipiravir, but having more safety profile than using the chemical. In the near future, I would like to suggest that we will learn more of using nebulizer to provide the immunity directly to the lung. So I think while the world is developing something for vaccine development, the other part of the group are working the way to treat COVID-19 viruses and allow them to survive without having to be using ventilators. So those are the kind of things that there are a lot more details, but please feel free to ask more in any particular thing that you would like to learn.
Sure. Next question. Could you send a note to Niels with the names of the ones you were just talking about? Because some people, A, can't spell them, and B, can't write fast enough. If you could send Niels the information, that'd be helpful. Another one I saw said there are 2 drugs that appeared to be effective for COVID suppression: cefuroxime, which is used to treat inflammation, and nelfinavir, which is approved for treating HIV. Any comments on those? This just popped across. Somebody had sent it to me.
Okay, here again. With the more understanding of treating COVID viruses, in the future, we can find a way to treat HIV as well. Please be aware that coronavirus quite similar in certain part with HIV viruses. So most of the products that I have developed myself and the research group have done, not only it can treat influenza virus, coronavirus, in the future, we can find the treatment of HIV, which has been long infected the global population for so long. Because each of the RNA virus that I have mentioned, they have the specific spike protein, and also they can be survived by having so-called capsid protein covering it. And we also learned that if virus cannot replicate itself, it can no longer provide causing infection. So having so-called the drug target attack, we will learn to develop natural substances to attack against all of these targets. The other thing that we learned that it will cause serious effect is called inflammation. So therefore, the products, any products that have anti-inflammatory activity will be good to protect and treat COVID problem. Now, the other thing that we have learned is about oxidative stress of free radical. So any product here again that can have strong antioxidant and decrease oxidative stress can also prevent COVID infection as well. Now, what we have learned only during the first few months this year is the knowledge that COVID-19 virus doesn't stay only in the lung. After it was being cleared from the lung, it will move to the brain. And therefore, that's the reason why we start to see a lot of patients suffering more from stroke, Alzheimer, MS, and ALS more and more than before. So having said that, we have to learn more how to control the neural regeneration process. And so therefore, by knowing a lot more about COVID, we can get and find a way to treat many other chronic diseases as well. Okay, so that will be quite a long information, but I will be trying my best to put down in the short and video presentation and post it to you later.
Excellent. Any comments on the revelations from the release of 6,000 of Fauci, Dr. Fauci's emails relative to the possibilities of Wuhan virology actually being the center point of the creation of this virus? Because I remember watching the Senate hearing, and Senator Mark Rubio, I'm not a huge fan of Rubio, but it was a good session where he basically said, with, don't quote me, SARS or MERS, 4 months, they were able to identify the host animal. AIDS took like 9 months or something. One of the other ones took another 4 to 6 months. They were able to identify the source animal for the jump from animal to human, where 16, 17 months into COVID, the Chinese, it would behoove the Chinese to produce that bat that did the jump, yet it's not happened. So that's kind of how he attacked Fauci. Care to make any comments? You don't have to. It's just I've seen a lot on this, and there's a whole bunch of people calling for Fauci's throat back in America. That's just a question for you, if you care to comment or not.
Okay, okay, I will try to talk in a scientific way. At present, there have been a lot of political involvement in COVID vaccine development, and some may be a bit scandal. So I will not go over on that aspect. In principle, we have found out that COVID-19 virus is far, some of the proteins that we found are not commonly available from natural sources. So that will lead to something that it can be handled by genetic manipulation as well. Because we have found out some of the genetic that will not happening in natural way. So having said that, we are facing what we call new situation of the new strain of viruses. We have also learned that they have many variants of COVID viruses. Now we are worried too much about African strain. Having said that, what I would like to summarize the way that we should think about. We have to understand more about the core, C-O-R-E, core structure of COVID-19 virus. Any central ingredients that make the virus to be viable, we must learn to attack them. So let's start with how we can get rid of the COVID-19 in the environment. Right now, our research group have tried our best to find some of the substances that can be sprayed to protect the virus in the household or in the hotel or in the hospital facility. There have been many very good products, starting from benzalkonium chloride and nanosilver, that it works by destroy COVID-19 virus. Not only that, it can destroy many bacteria, fungus, and also other viruses as well. So I think one of the ways that we should try to clean up our household facility or hotel or hospital, we must learn to use this kind of natural way to clean the atmosphere. And we also know that by investing on so-called HEPA filter, it can remove the virus out from the circulation. That will be something that we should try to work on as well. I hope that in the near future, we can provide so-called good disinfectant that are safe for humans and animal use. However, they have a specific and selective toxicity to COVID-19 virus. If that happens, we can use it in the airport, in the hospital, in the hotels. Most of the substances we are working on will have the long-lasting effect on killing the viruses. The substance called nanosilver, it can take around 28 days to protect against COVID viruses. So by spray these kind of substances, we can protect, our environment as well. we have to understand that we have to use hand and washing hand, because one of the method of spreading is through your hand contact. So therefore, I believe in that we should try to work out by using so-called non-alcohol cleansing gel, which consists of the substance, like I told you, benzalkonium chloride, which can protect our hand without causing any side effect. And we must make sure that it has been used and proved it can kill COVID-19 viruses. Now, when we will start to move along, we must learn that one of the ways that we should create our own immunity to provide the attack against COVID. What we need to learn more about immunity, starting from the lung, the nose, and also the skin, as well as immune cell. Right now, we have learned more that when any virus coming into the body, there have been many immune cells, such as natural killer cells, NK cell, cytotoxic T cell, CD4, CD8, plasma cell, or some of the macrophage. We can also train them to come into play. So I think that one of the near future, we will learn more about so-called immunotherapy that can be used to fight against COVID-19 viruses. Now, with the product and the substance that we can develop for treating COVID, in the future, we will start to provide the basic treatment protocol for COVID-19 viruses. Maybe for next Zoom meeting, I have enough time to search for you that in case you yourself have been infected with COVID, how would you handle your situation? About those who be infected, we learned that only 20% or less will need hospitalization. Another 80%, they will be recovering by themselves. So with this, there have been enough research now to provide the way how those people infected with COVID can protect themselves by using something like vitamin C, vitamin D, quercetin, and a few other things that I have described to you, which I think I will need more time to prepare to make it more systematically. Okay, now we also learned that COVID will cause more serious side effects for those with lung disease, heart disease, diabetes, cancer, autoimmune disease, and so on. So I would like also to take this opportunity to make sure that those who have been having chronic diseases, they need to take good control of their disease first in order to be safe against COVID. So we learn more about how to handle blood sugar in case of diabetes, how you can control your problem if you have already existing respiratory tract diseases, and so on. So those kind of things that here again, I will need to put down in the systemic way in order for us to really understand and move ahead. Okay, so this will be the, for today, this is my general approach will be this way.
Sure, thank you. One last question. I saw people talking about registering. Oh, Niels, you can unmute yourself, Niels. I saw people trying to register or registering on the government site, number one. Number two, I just saw an announcement by Bangkok Pattaya Hospital. No, they have no vaccines allocated to them yet. So I think you said we won't see anything. What'd you say? No mRNA vaccines in Thailand till October. Is that
Yes.
what I thought I heard you say? And at the moment, the only thing available for, and Thai people pretty much only, there are very few foreigners, Sinovac and some AstraZeneca. Is that correct?
Correct.
J&J coming?
Sinopharm coming along soon.
Right. When's J&J coming?
We do not know yet. And I have to tell you that even my register with my government called Prom, they have now canceled my vaccine reservation without knowing when. So I'm trying my best to solve my problem. Here again, I would like to remain observing about the situation in Thailand. And I would like you for, until we have enough supply of the vaccine, then you should consider to select the vaccination. And to also meeting, I can give you more update. And if you have any specific diseases that you are not so sure whether you should receive injection or not, I can also help you. But this should be done on a private basis because
Sure. Personal health stuff should be kept personal. Niels, comment?
Let me see. Yeah, am I unmuted? Yes, I am.
You're good.
Okay, yesterday I talked to Bangkok Pattaya Hospital, and they said that people were calling them to register. They're not allowed to take registration because they're not authorized to give vaccinations. They told me there's only 4 hospitals in Thailand that have authorization to do vaccinations, and they are not one of them. They are working on, and they call me as there's some changes. But for the time being, please tell the members, don't register, don't try to register with the Bangkok Pattaya Hospital or any hospital in Pattaya, because they can't, they're prohibited to take registrations. But what you can do, you can register in our Pattaya Expat Club list. And what we will do with that is we will let you know as soon as there's any positive changes. So this is a neutral way how to approach the matter. Just register with the Expat Club, and the Expat Club will get back to you with truthful information about which vaccine is available, when it's available, and where it's available, and what it eventually will cost if it's not free. So this is the best way you can get information, and then of course stick on to these Zoom meetings here. And I'm very thankful to Dr. Kampon that he's doing this 100% philanthropical, and it's very, very nice of him to engage. And actually, I look forward to when we can have in-person meetings. We should invite Dr. Kampon to come to our meeting and introduce himself in person. I think a lot of people now know him and they would like to meet him. Okay, but don't call Bangkok Hospital, don't call any hospital in Pattaya. They're not allowed to take your registration, okay? Just register here with the Expat Club and we'll let you know. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, I like to add one thing that for Pattaya, you have a quicker chance of receive vaccination because Pattaya has been accepted as a tourist center for Thailand. So I think we will be able to provide the Pattaya Expat probably by September, the latest.
One question that somebody put it in the group said, how are they going to let tourists in to Phuket? Is Phuket going to be vaccinated by July 1st? Because everybody, well, at least 70% of the population in Phuket would need to be vaccinated in order to let people in. So what's your latest information relative to that?
Okay, July still be confirmed, but it may be delayed for a week or 2. But the government now promoting the flight to fly direct to Phuket from many countries. And then because we will need some revenue coming from tourism industry. So I'm sure that for Pattaya, Phuket, and Chiang Mai, they will start to open the touristic city soon.
Thank
But
you.
please bear with me because we still have a lot of problem with different groups of organization like Ministry of Health, Department of Tourism, and so on. So I'm trying my best to make sure that the foreigners and also tourists will also get the privilege to receive vaccine.
Two more questions were asked for. One, where can we find the information that says which vaccines are acceptable to enable us, say, to travel to Europe or travel to the US? That's the first question. And the second question someone posted is, can I come in from Europe without quarantine? I don't think anybody's tested this. I don't think there is an answer. If I had AstraZeneca first shot and then later had a Pfizer as my second shot, that's the second question. Do the first question. Where is the list, or do you know the list of vaccines that are approved? In other words, if I've been vaccinated with, for instance, Sinovac, can I go to Europe or the US, or where can I actually find out that list? And then again, the second question, can you get shot 1 from vaccine A and shot 2 from vaccine B, and is that allowed?
Okay, this question is going to be difficult to receive the solid answers because they have also some of the problem between the organization on the national level, international level. However, for the next Zoom meeting, I will try to provide you more updated information on vaccine passport that will help organization will start to give the advice. One of the concern that we are facing now is called inequality of received vaccination. This is also very serious problem because now we want to open the countries. Some countries like US, they have enough vaccine to supply to the citizen. But the country like Thailand and Southeast Asia, we still have a lot far away from those things. So in order to make sure that we will use what we call scientific study to prove that. And I also would like to give you more update on, let's start with Sinovac, Sinopharm, AstraZeneca, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson. So I can start to put down in like a YouTube presentation and give it to you. So we can keep this for further study. Okay, so just to tell you that COVID-19 is quite new for all of us. So therefore, do not be surprised that something that had been announced, they may cancel it on the next day, which I don't like to say it, but it always happens. Okay, so we look forward to discuss together again, maybe next week.
Okay, so if you could, maybe even in between now and next week, if you could at least get the site or the list,
Yes.
that would be helpful because people are asking. The first question being relative to which vaccines are approved internationally, so that, because the concerns, I want to go back. If I want to go back to America, actually, I don't even think you need to be vaccinated to get into America because they're promoting tours to America so people can get vaccinated. American citizens can go back to America and get vaccinated for free. There's a big not brouhaha, but request to the US government. Hey, you sent vaccines over for your embassy staff worldwide. What about us expats? Why won't you send enough vaccines to take care of Americans who are in Thailand or elsewhere? So there's a little bit of pushback on that stuff. But if we could get the list or the site to go look, because as you just said, the information changes on a daily basis, obviously. Because I think, what's it, COVAX, that's the organization or something that shows, who's approved what for where, right?
Yes,
That's on the WHO website, correct?
yes, correct.
So to get the most current information on, for instance, if I have Sinovac, can I get into the UK? That should be there on that website, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
However, on the safe side, I would also stick with Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson Johnson, because those have already been approved internationally.
gotcha. All right, I appreciate that. We all appreciate your time and thank you for sharing the information you have, your knowledge and the like. I think the other question, two different jabs, that's not allowed yet, correct? If I get a Pfizer and an AstraZeneca, can I get in the country? Does that consider me vaccinated? I don't know that anybody's tested that, but do you know the answer for that relative to Thailand?
Yeah, but I cannot tell now because the Thai government may change it again. So let me check with the Department of Disease Control for next meeting first.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Anybody else have any last questions? Raise your hand or whatever. Let's look and see. Put everybody on gallery view. Jeffrey, go ahead. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Jeffrey. Click unmute.
Yeah,
There you go.
okay. I just had a quick question about vitamin D.
Mhm.
How much do we get when we sunbathe? Being in Pattaya, the sun capital, do we have an advantage that we can go out and get a tan and therefore get enough vitamin D? Is it a good practice to get 10, 20 minutes of vitamin D every day or two from the sun?
Okay.
Simple
So yes, for half an hour, sunbath be okay. But I have to tell you that there have been many forms of vitamin D. The vitamin D3 is the one that we need, that our body may not be receiving enough. So it's commonly available. So if you want to take vitamin D as a dose of 4,000 units per day, that's also possible to be done.
Vitamin D3.
Yes,
Okay,
D3.
thank you, sir.
And the unit will be 4,000 per day.
Okay, thank you, doctor.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions, comments, goings on? Peter Anders, you still here?
4,000.
We lose Peter? Not lost Peter. That's okay. Just
No,
FYI,
Peter's
someone
still
asked
there.
the question. Somebody asked a question, so I'll bring it up. I put it in the group, didn't get lots of response. Okay. Remember on Fridays, we used to go to Casa Pascal and we got a 10% discount and he was like 265 baht and we got 10% off as PEC. And you also got credit for whatever you actually paid on your member card. So when you had 10 visits, however much money you paid, it's effectively, oh, there's Peter Anders. There's money to spend, as a member card. So when they reopened, he upped the price of his breakfast to 285, which is not a huge increase from 260, whatever, 269, and took away our 10% discount. So we kind of said, well, we're not getting any direct benefit by going. So we haven't organized to go there. And then I also spoke to Ian, because Ian Nicholson, who's on the production team and general knowledgeable about all kinds of things, he's had a group of friends that go to the Queen Vic and Soy 6 and said, that's a phenomenal breakfast for 99 baht. And he volunteered to arrange with them because, they have tables for 6. So if we had 12 people coming, or we thought we'd have 12 people who might want to go meet for breakfast there, that he would arrange it. So they'd reserve some tables. And his suggestion was get there at 10:30. So I just wanted to ask the question, do people want to go to Queen Vic on Friday or Fridays? Let me know. Niels likes the idea. It's 99 baht for a big breakfast, and I extend Jeffrey likes it. You want to go there, and I'll get Ian to make arrangements, and whoever like to meet can meet there. He said go at 10:30. so you get your egg order because maybe they get busy or they're cooking your eggs and everything to order, and it ends at 12 noon. So it's not till 2 p.m. like Casa Pascal. And someone else commented, said, I like Casa Pascal. Who cares if it's $285 versus $240, 238, I think we paid with our discount. I'm more than happy to go to Casa Pascal. So I just, by a show of hands, who wants to go? If you want to go to try out Queen Vic, let me know and send me a message either to our Facebook page, email, messenger. Most everybody knows how to get a hold of me. And if we get 6, 8, 10 people that said, hey, Queen Vic sounds cool, I'll make sure Ian knows and he can call them and make sure we get a couple of tables reserved. So that was all I had at the moment. That was all I had at the moment. Anybody have any questions, comments, anything further to add? Everybody keeping okay? It's quiet here.
I'm in Bangkok. So I want to know, anybody know anything I should be avoiding here? I'm like staying inside.
Don't go to nightclubs.
COVID capital city, they call it now. Okay.
COVID capital
nightclub.
city when we have a 0.0001% death rate in the whole country. I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
I might have a strong opinion on this, but my opinion is, hey, yes, it sucks if you get it. It sucks if you get the flu and you're sick. People die every year, 60, 80, and 100,000 in America die from the regular flu. People here die way more from car accidents and stuff. Stay away from stupid places like wet markets and places with migrant workers and nightclubs and all that kind of stuff. But go live your life. Go to the restaurant. If you want to go eat, go eat. Don't do stupid shit. And wash your hands a lot. I mean, follow the basic things. I mean, life's meant to be lived. That's my opinion.
Okay, thank you.
My wife doesn't let me out of the house much either. But we do go to the mall to get something to eat every once in a while. Oh, Ian is in here. Hi, Ian. I didn't recognize it was you. And Wolf said Germany approved the efficiency of 2 different vaccine shots. Interesting. Well, like Dr. Kampon said, it remains to be seen. He's not going to talk about what the current government policy is or isn't because he's not government. And he'll do some more research for us and come back next week and give us some more info. This is all quite helpful to keep everybody abreast. I mean, Thailand on a per million basis is way ahead of virtually everywhere else in the world. We should be lucky we're here, and the weather's pretty good. For some reason, for rainy season, it hasn't been that rainy. It's been a lot more sunny and hot than normal. Maybe that is a good reason why the infection rates and the deaths and all that here in Thailand really aren't that high, especially when you look on a per million basis. Hey, Ron, you're unmuted, Ron. Anyway, so with that, Jeffrey, hold on.
Point that COVID surely helps the government with student protests. If everybody gets my drift.
Yeah, for sure.
Certainly doesn't hurt the government to have had the COVID problem as far as student protests that are not happening anymore.
Gotcha. All right. I want to say thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you all back again next Tuesday. And for those that want to go eat at Queen Vic on Friday, please send me a message. There's at least a couple of you. And I think several of you will wind up meeting with Ian and a few others for Friday breakfast. All right, everybody. Have a good one.
Thanks for a great meeting. Thank you, Doctor.
Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you, Dr. Kampon, again.
Sawadee krap.
Sawadee krap.
COVID today.
Expat tapi ya,